Welcome to John Cashew Machine. Today I will bring you to visit one cashew processing factory. The capacity 50 metric ton per day. And in the back side of me, that is really big tank. They contain the water for the fly protection. You can see in Vietnam, if we want to open the cashew one cashew factory like it, we really need it. Now let me visit it. This is the boiler which supplies the full hot steam for the factory. Capacity 2.5 tons per hour. And you can see this is really big one, right? And we have also, before the smoke come out of the sky, we have the tank of the water to filter the dust inside the smoke. So we can get the clean smoke to put outside the sky. What do we have here? This is the tank that contains the water, which supplies the water for the boiler. Make sure that all the boiler is guaranteed by the enough water when it's running. Let us show you. We have the timber, the wood, right? And we can supply the wood for the boiler by this gate. And this is a special. We have the two parts. One part for the frying and one part for the steaming. So that is the industrial function. Separate the function of the boiler. Here we go. Do you know what is this? This is the cutter of timber. Cut the wood cutting. You can see here. It's separate like it. We have the whole tree like it, and this is the machine. Help us cutting the timber. The main actor today, we visited. This is the tank. That raw material can go by this way, this gate to supply for the calibration. You can see the height around, I think around 3 meters. And this is stand conveyor supply the raw cashew nut for the stone filter machine. And you can see this is the stone, right? After stone filter machine working, we have a zit rejection. We have the stand conveyor. After the stone filter machine, we have this one. Supply the raw material, raw cashew nut for the calibration. And we have two conveyor here. That means we have two room cage on the top of the calibration. The capacity of this machine is 50 metric ton per day. Let us show you more. On the bottom of the conveyor, of the calibration, we have a conveyor here, right? So all the raw cashew nut will drop to the conveyor and bring it to the cooker. So let we move on. Now I'm standing on the top of the calibration, and this is the raw cashew nut sorting machine. You can see this is the standing conveyor supply the raw cashew nut for the calibration in the beginning of the calibration. And we can see it is spread with the very long distance like this. We have a side small nut on the top on the beginning of the calibration. And we can work on the balcony like this to supervise the working of the calibration. And you can see here, we have the two room cage, and capacity of this calibration is 50 metric ton per day. In the bottom of the calibration, we can have the tank that can contain around also 50 metric tons per day. That will be enough the material for the machine running like it. And we also have here along the calibration, at the end of the calibration, that is the motor. That is a 5 HP, very strong motor that can make the power engine, power machine for the calibration. So at the end of the calibration, we have a really big nut. We can A plus, A plus plus. That's very big nut. That's all. This is the A1 rocket nut. A1, you see, A1, right? That is big nut, really big nut. And we see alcohol. That Vietnam we call alcohol. That is really big nut. A plus, your A plus, and the dimension diameter of the A plus is more than 24. Yeah, really big nut. And you can see this is the end of the conveyor. Conveyor is under the calibration, and it carry out, it bring the raw cashew nut supply to the cooker. How we can connect it? We can connect by the conveyor like this. You can see, right? Right? And let's see. Come here, I show you. All the cooker is controlled by the electric cabinet and air compressor to open and close the lid of the cooker. We have it here. All the air compressor. We open and close the cooker by the air, and we control by the electric. That is technique from Vietnam. This is two cooker. First one and second one, we put it together, and capacity of each cooker, one cooker is 1 ton per time. One time we could cook around 30 minutes. And raw cashew nut, you know, this is, what is it? In the truth, this is the balance, the scale, that we can scale how many kg, how many tons you can cook, you can process per day. So you can control well how many metric tons you processing per day. This is scale, big scale, right? And after that, we bring the raw cashew nut to the cooker, like it. One time we can run together two cooker and capacity around 2 tons per time. That means we easy to cook the different kinds, different grade of the raw cashew nut. That is normal. After the cooking, we continue automatically by the conveyor, and you can see this is a conveyor supply the raw cashew nut to the Dutch trolley. You can see that trolley run on the tray like it, run on the tray, and it distribute the raw cashew nut to the each tank of the grade A, B, C, and D. Now we discover it in the back side of the tank. Follow me. Let I tell you how Vietnamese work on with the raw cashew nut before the cutting. Here we have the two sections, right? In the middle we have a wall to separate the raw cashew nut after the cooking to the two sections. The first part here and second part here. And you know, today we make the cutting, right? We make cutting today, and we think raw cashew nut should be made cool for the next day. So this part for today, and this part we contain the raw cashew nut for the next day. You understand? You understand? Now I will say again. This part for today around 10 metric tons, and this part for the tomorrow around also 10 metric tons. So this tank can contain around 20 metric tons, right? And we follow here to see. This is the back side of the tank, right? In the back side. And you know, we need a space like it. For what? For the fire protection. Fire protection. Alright? and sometimes we need to clean the machine, or we need to repair, maintenance, or you can have a forklift can run this way, right? You can take all the products go out by this way, and you can collect it, right? That's the way we do. So here we can turn on in the, now we will in the front side of this section and see what happened. What do we have with the cutting section? Let's go. This is the front side of the cutting section. The capacity 50 metric ton per day, and I will bring you to visit it with me. Here, you can see we supply the raw cashew nut, right, to the stone filter machine again. Again, we have stone filter machine here, and it supply the raw cashew nut to the cutter machine, right? And we sharing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We sharing all the raw cashew nut to the cutter machine like this. We sharing all the raw cashew nut to the cutter machine, and we collect here, collect all the kernel on that tray, scooping system, right? Yeah, this is one part of scooping system. The function of scooping system that separate the cell and the kernel. Simple like that. You thinking like that. Simple. And maybe scooping nut also be handled when it go through this scooping system. At the end of scooping system, we have the one conveyor that collect all the kernel, right? Here we have a lot of the cutting machine and a lot of scooping system. At the end of the scooping system, we collect all the kernel and the cell on the conveyor, right? Like it. A lot of machine here, and we see all the kernel will run here, right? The cell will run here, on the below, in the bottom, and the kernel run on the top, like it. You can see, and the worker can sit here to collect, to rechew, to collect again the cell and the kernel. We check whether we have the kernel inside the cell. That's like that, and you can see here, really empty, right? Very clean, easy for cleaning. So take notes on it. We do like that in Vietnam. Like that. Finish, right? Finish here. That is simple. And all the cell, right? We contain all that tank, and we recheck it again before we blow in the cell to the piper, like it, to the cell warehouse, right? The cell run on that conveyor to that tank, and we reselect the cell, the kernel in the cell, and after that we have the one big motor here, bring all the cell to the cell warehouse, right? What about the kernel? What about the kernel? Kernel here. It is in the top of the conveyor, and we bring all the kernel to this tank, right? Right? We have here. Let's see. Here. And it continue drop on the another conveyor, and we bring it to the color sorting machine. We use the color sorting machine to make and clean, to chew the clean kernel and rejection in the kernel, right? Like that, really big one, right? This one, how we do in Vietnam. Fresh kernel after the color sorter machine. It continue run on the conveyor to the tray, the tank like it, and we have the tray, the conveyor that supply supply the kernel to the tray. Like this, something like this. All right, you put the kernel here, but we still have the one part here. It's locked in here, so you can easily put the kernel drop to the tray like this and put in the trolley. This is the tray and the trolley for the Balma room, hidden room. And you can see after the kernel, we put in the tray like this. Each tray we can contain around 3 kg. And the time for the hidden the kernel after cooking around 12 hours. One tray can contain 3 kg. And on the market, I will show you the one tip on the market. You can see here, the hole on the tray like this. But some tray, they still have the hole on the tray like this. Make sure that the thickness of the tray is thick enough for the strong of the tray. So if on the tray we still have some hole, that is good for the kernel, really good for the kernel. Pay attention on that. So after we put all the kernel here, right? The kernel to the tray and trolley like it, and we continue. We put there, and now we bring to the Balma room. We call Balma room or the hidden room, and the capacity of this room is 2 metric tons per time. The time of Balma is 12 hours at 7 degrees, and you can see for the big factory like it, we really need big room like it. Now we will discover what's inside the Balma room, right? Let's see here. This is the Balma room, right? And we have the piper, the hot piper, like this. And we have a fan here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Total 10 fans. And the hot air will come around on the Balma room like this, right? And it will make dry in the kernel. So let's see how we do like it in Vietnam. The time for the cooking, for the heating, around 12 hours. We lock it, right? That's all with the Balma room. Kernel, when we take out the Balma room and take a rest for them around 4 hours, the moisture can reach up around 6%, and we put in this room. Here in Vietnam, we have 2 ways of make the humidifier the kernel after the Balma. But here we have the one way, that is the second way, that is the hot humidifier. That means we use the hot air, hot steam from the boiler to supply to this room. And the time for the humidifying room only 45 minutes instead of around 10 hours. Such a normal way. Simple like that. If you want to know it more, let's contact me. I will show you how it works with this humidifying room. Please note that this room only takes around 45 minutes for the hot humidifier. This is humidifier room. Let I show you about the peeling machine. This is a peeling machine. And with the big space like this, big warehouse like this, that is really small here. We supply the kernel with tester at the beginning of the peeling machine by the tongue like this. We supply the kernel to the tongue of the beginning of the peeling machine like this, right? You can put a jumbo bed here and drop all the kernel to this way. That is more save a lot of labor, and you have forklift to lift it on to put the kernel here, right? And we have a conveyor. We have a conveyor here. Bring the tester kernel to the peeling machine. We call this the room cage. The room cage that make the physical fork to the kernel. That take half 50% of the testa on the kernel, like it. What do we have here? This is the air pressure part. You know, after room K, half of the frame of the testa will take out. Testa will take out a half, and this part will take remaining half. So after room K and pressure part, the nuts will perfectly clean it, and at the final, we have the sorting, kernel sorting, that will separate the whole nut. Will come this way, right? And broken will come on the bottom of this part, right? We have 2 peeling machine here, and we have a conveyor. What will we do after this work? Let's go with me. This is conveyor. Bring the kernel of the peeling machine to the sorting, grading machine. We have the grading machine here. Let me see, right? The function of this machine that makes sorting of the W240, W320, W450, broken gray, right? We have continue have the conveyor here, and you can see this is the big grading machine. The capacity is 1,500 kg per time, and you can see, and the bottom of the machine, we can handle the bed here. You can handle the bed here, right? And it can contain the big nut, small nut, medium nut, and big nut, right? This is the final one, really big nut, right? Broken, medium nut, small nut, and really big nut. The final set a W240 we wrap here, and we can adjust the distance between the two trolleys up to the origin of the nuts. We can adjust the distance of the two trolleys here, like this, right? Okay. After the grading machine, we continue have a color sorting machine. The function that separate the nut with the different color. So with this machine, you can use for the sizing, also sizing and grading the good nut and the bad nut. The capacity is 2 tons per time, and this is from Meyer. And you know, after the color sorter machine, we put all the cargo on the pallet like this. A lot of the kernel with so many grade here. LP 3CS5B, a lot of grade. This is standard, factory standard. So they can recognize different grade of the kernel. And they sorting that them for another purpose. We will put all the cargo to the fumigation room like this. It takes around 7 days for the fumigation by the phosphine, right? Cargo, after take out of the fumigation room, we will make in the parking line and bring by the vacuum or by the tin box like this, right? And this cargo is waiting for the packing. Right, you can see. This is the nuts before the packing, right? So simple like that. Here, that is final product. We already packed it. It's waiting for exporting. Have you ever seen the big factory like this before? This is really big factory. The capacity 50 metric tons per day. And how do you feel about all things I have just up here with you? If you like it and want to discuss with me, don't forget subscribe my channel and press like for me. I will make more videos for this. Thank you so much. John, all about Casio.